What is going on, Trash Talkers? We are back with another episode for you. In today's video, we are going to break down and discuss the vast legal troubles that NFL draftee and former Penn State Nittany Lion Micah Parsons is facing after allegations from a former teammate have surfaced about some disturbing hazing and bullying that took place. Plus, we detail what this means for Parsons moving forward and how NFL teams should proceed. All that and much more coming your way right now! All right, Nick, this is not a pleasurable topic that we get to cover, but nonetheless, it's something that is newsworthy and noteworthy, and I feel like we owe it to ourselves and our fans to have to actually talk about. Um, we have the Super Bowl just less than 2 weeks away right now, and after that, all eyes are going to be on the NFL draft taking place in April, and most teams, most fan bases are actually looking forward to that draft right now. Atop that list is Micah Parsons, and there is a lot of legal trouble that he is currently in. Just to break it down for you guys really quick, there is a lawsuit that names the Penn State head coach John Franklin and one of Micah Parsons' teammates, a defensive tackle on the team, in the lawsuit. Micah Parsons and gross-matos, who now plays for the Carolina Panthers, they're not named in the lawsuit as defendants, but they are named in the allegations that are made. So in the scenario, take that into account that Micah Parsons isn't going to be facing this as a defendant. He will be brought in for questioning and part of the investigation, and there's going to be a lot that goes into it. So these are some of the allegations that have been made by one of his former teammates. Back in 2018, he alleges in the complaint that Barber, Parsons, gross-matos did the following to him and certain other players. They took their clothes and did not return them, told them they intended to make them, quote, their bitch because this is a prison, wrestled them down in simulating humping action while on top of them, placed their penis in their faces while simulating ejaculation, placed their penis on and in their buttocks. The claim was made, "This is Jerry," in reference to former assistant coach Jerry Sandusky, who was convicted of child sex. I don't really know where to start here. Nick, I'm just going to hand it off to you right now. This is not good.
No, this is really not good, especially for Micah Parsons, who is supposed to be a top 5 pick in 3 months. I mean, this guy is supposed to be the next Luke Kuechly. He is supposed to be the next big name linebacker in the NFL. And this is really bad. This looks terrible, and it should. I mean, this shouldn't happen to anybody. I would have figured that everybody would have learned their lessons, especially at Penn State. You would think they would all have learned by now. Well, I guess not. The biggest problem I really have with this is the allegations were made in 2018. Mm-hmm. This has been going on for over 2 years now, and Yetur Gross-Matos, who was drafted last year in the top 15 by the Carolina Panthers, they knew about this. This was not something that's just coming out now. This has been known. They did their investigation and they decided, hey, we're still going to draft this guy in the first round, which to me shows that Micah Parsons is going to get away with this scot-free. There is not going to be any repercussions for him in the draft, which is just mind-boggling. I don't know how you can read these allegations and say, that's a guy I want on my team. That's a role model I want young kids looking up to. This is bad.
It really is. And, just to echo your sentiment a little bit, I believe that talent gets you a lot further than allegations do, especially with Parsons and Yetur Gross-Matos not being named as actual defendants in this case, it's going to work in their favor. It worked in Yetur Gross-Matos' favor. I think now that it's public knowledge, while the Panthers might have known at the time of the draft, this was not public knowledge. This didn't come out into the limelight until late last year, about November or so. Just to add on to what I talked about in the beginning, in his suit, Humphreys charged that he and other underclassmen were told, "I'm going to Sandusky you," a reference to former assistant coach Jerry Sandusky, who is in prison for multiple convictions on sexual abuse charges. He said in his alleged tormentors would wrestle them to the ground and simulate a humping action or shove their genitals in their victim's face. One player interviewed in the report talked of a naked Barber overpowering a smaller teammate and simulating sex acts, doing it almost daily. He said he never saw Barber do that to the guy who's making these claims. The report also interviewed the player who had been allegedly overpowered by Barber, said they were always fully clothed when wrestling and no one took it seriously. Barber transferred after the 2019 season to another school. Gross-Matos plays for the Carolina Panthers, and Micah Parsons is a projected top 10 pick. This is being looked at very seriously, and it should be. Listen, I have been in plenty of football locker rooms. There's playful hazing, which I completely understand, and some of this is exactly that. But some of this has gone way too far past the point of no return. And when you bring up a guy by the name of Jerry Sandusky, even just playfully, knowing where you are, right? You're taking an underclassman who's already nervous. You're hazing the hell out of them. You're bullying them. And now you're basically telling them that you are going to sexually abuse them in the same place that Jerry Sandusky used to do this to children. I cannot look past this. If I'm an NFL team, I have to take a very serious look at Micah Parsons and say, I might just pass on you altogether, whether it's the first round or the sixth round, doesn't matter. I I don't care if you go undrafted. And listen, I don't think that's going to happen, but I think there's a lot of teams that will pass on him no matter where he lands. It's just where it is, and it sickens me that this is actually happening, and this is what we're talking about leading up to next year's NFL season. But it's going to get exacerbated from this point forward, all the way up until the draft, because every part of their lives is going to be turned upside down, and this is just the beginning of what we're about to find out and what's about to happen.
Yeah, I really don't have any more words for what took place. I mean, Micah Parsons, this is a lesson for everybody else, all the young kids up and coming. Don't ruin your future. Everything you have done is going to come back to bite you. Make sure moving forward that you lead by example. You are a role model to everybody beneath you. You are a role model to everybody else. Just don't be stupid. Think before you act. Now, I know we're only giving bits and pieces of everything going on, so we will link the entire article in the description if you want to take a deeper dive into it.
For sure. And if you guys want to talk about, let us know your thoughts on this, make sure to comment down below. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. That'll do it for now. Peace and love.